First of all, welcome to the Indian High Commission. Namaste. And to tell briefly about myself, I'm Amit Telang. I'm the Indian High Commissioner to Guyana. I arrived here last October. So I would say I'm about to complete 1 year of my term here in Guyana. And it has been a very, very interesting and I would say very rewarding time for me. Since I arrived here, I have witnessed a complete economic transformation that is happening in Guyana. There were so many international conferences and other engagements, even on the trade and economic side, which shows the kind of economic development that is happening in Guyana, and it makes my job very interesting. So.
Perfect. I'm happy to hear you say that, and I hope that you've been having a good year thus far. Indeed, Guyana is undergoing significant economic development, and it provides so much opportunities for the countries that we work with. So for us to learn from you and to have your expertise help us further this development. Along those lines, how would you describe the current state of economic relations between India and Guyana, and in what ways do you see this partnership evolving in the near future?
Thank you. In fact, before I talk about the current state of development, I think it's always important to understand also the historical perspective and to appreciate the kind of relationship that our two countries have shared over more than now 60 years of our diplomatic relations. So, the crux of our partnership has always been capacity building. And right from the beginning, in fact, in the 1960s, we have placed a lot of emphasis on development cooperation and capacity building. Many of our friends from Guyana, they have benefited from different training programs and other kind of capacity building initiatives that we offer from time to time. We have also contributed in some of the major projects in terms of infrastructure development in Guyana. Just to tell you one example, and this is the CPL time, everyone in Guyana is enjoying CPL. Yesterday, I was also there at the match between Guyana, the Amazon Warriors, of course, and the Barbados team. And the stadium where it is being played is one of the examples of the development cooperation that happens between our two countries. India, a few years back, helped with the construction of that stadium. So what I wanted to underline is the economic cooperation between our two countries has a long history. And in the recent years, especially after the discovery of oil and gas in Guyana and emergence of Guyana as one of the fastest growing economies, there is a new dimension to this relationship. And as President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali and our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi always emphasize, if we have to identify the crux of what our relationship is all about, it is a people's partnership. It is the relations between our people. And on the economic side, the three areas that we emphasize the most is food security, energy security, and last but not the least is everything that needs to be done in order to have climate-friendly technologies, because that is again one area which is of global relevance. Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm happy that you said that India plays a significant part in the capacity building initiatives that have happened in Guyana. I'm so happy to know that you did, of course, contribute to the building of the stadium. Cricket is really a sporting event that brings people together as we endeavor for people-to-people relations. So I'm very happy to hear that. You did touch on the fact that you are focused on food security, energy security, and climate-friendly technology. Now, I know that India has been a global leader in several industries, which you have mentioned: technology, renewable energy, and infrastructure. How can Indian businesses leverage their expertise to tap into Guyana's emerging markets? And what sectors would you say now offers potential for more collaboration? I know that His Excellency is trying to focus on the manufacturing sector as well as agriculture and agro-processing, because while we are heavily emerging in oil and gas, these are traditional sectors that we do want to increase capacity in.
Thank you. That's a very pertinent question. And before I come to, in terms of elaborate on the various issues that you asked in your question, let me also give you a few examples of what we have achieved already under the leadership of President Ali and our Prime Minister. In fact, if you recall, last year, President Muhammad Irfan Ali, he visited India. And in fact, during his interaction with Prime Minister Modi, it was decided that millets, which is now considered one of the superfoods, millets cultivation should start in Guyana. And subsequently, what happened was that India provided some millet seeds to Guyana. And under leadership of President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali, it was very successfully cultivated in Guyana, and it was a resounding success, because I think within a span of few months, it was proved that Guyana can do a lot when it comes to food security, because this is not only about Guyana but about the CARICOM and the region as a whole. Same way on the infrastructure side as well, a lot is happening. We are, of course, working with various agencies in Guyana, like NARI, the National Agriculture Extension Institute. We are working with other agencies. We have facilitated a course for rice cultivators and rice processing industry. We are also working on the infrastructure side. As you know, one of the major roads which is going to connect Ogle and Eccles, that is being constructed right now by an Indian company. We are also working on some of the very important projects like solar power plant at the Chedi Jagan International Airport. So it just shows you the kind of cooperation that is happening in all the sectors that you just mentioned, like renewable energy, food security, and various other areas.
That's actually very perfect and ideal. With the upcoming International Business Conference that focuses heavily on business to business networking between local companies and international companies, you've expanded on what we've already accomplished between Guyana and India. What role do you believe will the platform like IBC play in fostering a more robust and sustainable economic tie between our two nations? Why do you see a conference of this nature as being essential?
Thank you again. First thing I would like to mention that while this conference is going to be one of the important steps towards bringing the businesses from India and Guyana together, something which I must appreciate and put on record is that the organization Action Invest has been helping us out a lot. In fact, even before the conference, during my interaction with Dr. Durga and other colleagues from Action Invest, what we have facilitated is interaction between various trade bodies, chambers of commerce, individual businesses, and Action Invest and other organizations and bodies on the Guyanese side. So it has actually contributed towards the process of information exchange, bringing the business and potential investors together, and a lot has started already. What I would see this conference to be is basically a consolidation of what we have tried to achieve over the last couple of months. During the visit of our foreign minister, the external affairs minister, Dr. Subramaniam Jayashankar, to Guyana last year in April 2023, we launched the Chamber of Commerce, the India-Guyana Chamber of Commerce as well. Subsequently, we implemented various initiatives, and Action Invest has been a very important collaborator and partner in that process to create awareness about the business opportunity, investment opportunities. So what I feel is the forthcoming conference is going to be a very important milestone towards actually consolidating and bringing people together to see at where Guyana stands now, what is actually happening on the ground. And the future of Guyana undoubtedly is very bright, and we would like more and more Indian businesses to come and contribute towards this process.
Perfect. I have two more questions for you. The first one would be, we have been receiving delegates from India. What would you say to businesses who are skeptical about entering the economic landscape that is Guyana? We're now emerging, we're slated as the fastest growing economy in the world, but of course, businesses are sometimes going to try to play it safe. They're unsure. How can we assure them that this is the time to invest in Guyana? Based on your time here and what you've been seeing, what would you say to Indian business leaders who are on the fence, not sure just yet, but would like to know what opportunities are available?
Uh, in fact, just before we decided to have this interview, I was going through the kind of queries, the kind of inquiries that we get from India, from various businesses. And let me tell you that the number of queries, if that is an indicator of the kind of interest that Indian businesses have in Guyana, we have experienced close to 200% increase in the number of queries that we get from India. So that shows that people are already interested. What you rightly mentioned is that, of course, whenever people start to interact, there are always teething problems or sometimes some challenges. So one thing which needs to be appreciated is there is always a difference in business culture. And it is very important for people to understand when you go to another country with a different culture, it is very important for people to understand and appreciate. And in fact, organizations like Action Invest or these kind of conferences, they also act as an ice breaking kind of mechanism for people to understand and better appreciate that how to maneuver, how to understand, how to operate in a different set of surrounding, appreciate the challenges and also use them to your benefit so that the business actually benefits from the nascent opportunities. Yes, I would say that Guyana, right now, the government of Guyana and various organizations and bodies are working towards establishing certain frameworks, certain regulations, and sometimes it may pose a difficulty for people to understand how the regulatory framework works. More importantly, investment options, movement of people. So all these challenges are very much there. But I think through these kind of dialogues and exchanges, we can overcome all these hurdles. And I'm sure that in terms of optimism and in terms of interest of Indian businesses to come to Guyana, I think there is no need, in fact, for us to worry because there's always and already a lot of interest.
Perfect. So this brings us to the end of our interview.